What's your story? What was your reasons for being at Parliament? What happened?
Are we live? Are we doing things?
We are live, yes. We're always live.
Just watch what I'm saying then. Should I take off my glasses so you can see the whites of my eyes?
So we can see the magical Christmas spirit.
You can see the Christmas spirit. So yeah, so I...
First off, your name is Norm.
Norm.
Kia ora, Norm.
Yeah, kia ora.
And how has the pandemic been for you? What has happened? What's your story?
What's my story? So I came down here March 2020, the Ides of March the 15th. I knew it was an inauspicious day. I shouldn't have come down on the Ides of March, but I did.
Where did you come from?
I came from the UK.
Cool.
So I've been in New Zealand for a number of years. I've lived here since 2006. I've worked, I do lots of things really. I'm just quite an adventurer in life. So I'm a trained psychiatric nurse. I've worked in mental health in various different roles and guises, but that's where I started. I started in the military police. I'm ex-military.
Oh my goodness.
Few years in the army as a young boy, and then trained as a nurse when I came out of the military police, and then I trained to be a professional actor. So
my goodness!
I've been working as a professional performer, actor, 25 years, as well as doing bits of
nursing, military.
Yeah.
Can we hit any more extremes?
Yeah,
here?
You know what? In life, you have to be adventurous. You have to take risks, and you just have to do a little bit of what you fancy. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, and you want an adventure, just follow your dreams. Just have an adventure. Go out there. Don't be frightened. Don't be frightened of the future, man, because the future's already written. Don't be frightened. Why have fear in your heart? You should have love, joy, and a little bit of twinkle in your eye. A little bit of fun.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of twinkle, a little bit of cheekiness.
So you found yourself at Parliament back in February. What made you go along to that protest?
I'd been mandated out of my job.
And that was nursing?
Nursing, nursing, and I was on Lord of the Rings, the TV show last year. I was the stand-in for the Wizard, and that was going to be 5 years of really good work.
Stand-in for the Wizard?
Yeah, the Gandalf character, and the new Lord of the Rings TV
you were
show.
Like a body double?
Yeah, well I was his stand-in, so I wasn't his body double, I was his stand-in, so I worked with the technicians and whatnot, so whenever Dan was in makeup and wardrobe, I'd be with the director and the technicians.
You can't get more Kiwi than this.
Yeah, so I was
UK.
doing that, and that was good fun, and I kind of landed that through a friend, and as I say, I do little bits of fight choreography and stuff, and fun at a little fight school, so I do a bit of homeschool teaching. I'm normally dressed as a Viking or a knight, and I teach people how to throw axes and shoot bows and build props and set and do homeschooling shit.
So we're only Hanakoko during December. The rest of the year we're a Viking.
Yeah, Viking, fight choreographer, stunt-y, fun, just doing whatever I feel like doing, because that's what life's about. It's about just
So you ended up at the big protest in February here at Parliament because you were mandated out of your nursing position.
Nursing position. And I just heard about the convoy, and I just went, you know what? I've got a lot of skills in dealing with people. A lot of my mental health career has been working in acute psychiatry, so I work in locked units, locked wards, called them ICU departments. So that's normally the locked unit of an inpatient psychiatric unit. So I'm used to high expressed emotion. I'm used to people being distressed. I'm used to people being upset, and I'm quite calm and cool and easy with all of that, because that's not mind alone. And so I let that wash over me, and I've learned over the years just to be calm and peaceful and be a nice steady ship for other people when they're upset, when they're distressed. And I thought, you know what, maybe if that's all I've got to give, I can go down there and I can give that to people.
That's an amazing gift to give people, and I'm sure once you arrived here you saw the need.
Have good chats with good people, and that's what it's about, just being with people, and that's enough. Sometimes I don't wave flags, and I don't have anything to protest, because you know what, I've got peace in my heart. I've always had peace. I've always had peace and love, so I've got nothing to protest. But if I can teach other people that, actually, with a little bit of love and peace in your heart, that's all you actually need, man.
Amazing.
That's all you need. And trying to tell people hear that, and sometimes people listen, and other times people are so upset and so angry and so righteously indignant at what's happening in the country, and I hear what people say, and I understand that. People have the right to be indignant, the right to feel that they've had the dignity stripped away from them. I've had mine taken away from me, but I haven't really, because I still act with dignity. even though I get treated differently in certain parts of society now. I wasn't allowed into buildings. I'm still not allowed in to see a GP unless I put a mask on. I refuse to, on principle. And so the last time I went to see my GP, they made me hold a mask in front of my face, hold it in my hand, to walk through the reception to go into the doctor's office to be told about how blunted my heart is from my first vaccine. And so,
I'm sure there was plenty of science behind that.
And so I said, could I swap it for a crucifix, please? Or would you like to, ring a bell just to let everybody know that I'm coming through your surgery? It's like, what does this actually? What's it mean? You're meant to be a man of science. You're a doctor, and you're making me hold a bit of paper in front of my face to make other people feel better. What kind of quackery is this? It's utter nonsense.
Does the air you breathe in and out not get filtered by your moustache anyway?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to lecture on why men have beards and why men should have beards, it's because, and you're probably going to get grossed out by this, men carry a lot of bacteria in their beards, okay? Because you're right, it does filter food. I've had the odd Dorito in here and whatnot, but the laters.
Does it get rid of the fluoride in the water? Or?
Well, what it does to women is you get to share my immunity by snuggling into my beard, by cuddling into me. It's what makes me attractive to women, is having a big beard. In nature, this is why we believe men had big beards. The bigger and bushier your beard, the probably more grubbier you were, which meant you must have had an amazing immune system. So your hairiness would keep a woman warm through the night. So women would want to be with you, but by kissing your man with his big beard, then you get to share his immunity, and so you get that herd immunity. So,
now, I have always been very pro-beard.
Yeah,
very pro-beard.
Never mock the beards, boys and girls.
I like moustaches.
Yeah, but I think the reason that I like moustaches and beards is a lot different to your reason for liking your moustache and beard.
Yeah.
But
People could just say I'm lazy.
I'm
just lazy.
I love it. That's awesome. So, how many days did you spend at Parliament, and what was your impression of the Freedom Village?
I came down day one. I came down for the convoy.
Amazing. Where did you come down from?
I came down from Auckland. So yes, I came here 2 years ago for my son's wedding. I got marooned here. I had my flights cancelled back to the UK, and I thought, I might as well just stay here and see what happens. As I said, the reasons why I went back to the UK died. I went back to look after my father, who was in his late 90s, and my big sister was his main carer. So she had that bad cancer diagnosis, and thankfully she died in the February, just the week before I came down to New Zealand. And then while I was down here, after a month of being here, my father died. So they were my reasons. Part of my reasons for being back in the UK. So my son's here. I now have a little Mokapuna. He's beautiful, young Lachlan. He's 6 months old, coming up, and I just love him so much. So yes, I've got a beautiful little boy here and a beautiful grandson.
So, you mentioned you've been mandated out of your nursing. Have you found any sort of career path to replace that, or what are you doing now? Since then?
I do a little bit of homeschooling, teaching axe throwing, archery, performing arts stuff.
Did you just say throwing axes?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So I normally dress as a Viking and have fun doing school holiday programs up in Birkenhead. I've got a friend who's got a little fight choreography school there, the New Zealand School of Stage and Screen Combat.
That is so cool.
So we teach people how to dance really with weapons, swords and shields and whatnot. If you want to be in the movies, you want to be in Lord of the Rings, you want to be in Vikings, all of that, then we teach you the dance moves. But then you work with fight choreographers on set and directors. We put together little fights, so we do displays, we go around, do festivals, your Armageddons, things. I just have fun. It's all about fun. I just like playing dressy up. I've got a big dressy up box.
We like playing dress ups.
Yeah, full of armour and weapons and fun stuff. I've even got a wizard's costume.
Oh my goodness!
Life's too short to be too serious. You need something to bring you joy and laughter every day.
Agree. And so, are you still based in Auckland, or where are you based nowadays?
I live in my van now, so I'm homeless. I'm a homeless Santa.
I live in my bus.
Yeah, and I just live in my van. I just go where fortune takes me. I've always been fortune's fool, because life's all about trials, tribulations, and it's about being resilient, and it's about learning to be resilient. It's about learning to roll with the punches, and you know, the older you get and the more horror you witness and the more suffering you're surrounded by, if you can come through all of that and keep your heart good, then hopefully it makes you even more resilient, which makes you capable of being solid for other people in your community. And that's the progression through life. The older we get, once you say I've passed the finish line, I've now got my first grandchild, so I feel like I've crossed the finish line. So everything else to me is a blessing. Every other day is a blessing to me, because now my son wears the mantle of father, and he's become the father of my line. And so hopefully one day, you know, my grandson will hear tales of me, and that's how my memory lives
I think
on.
we can pretty much guarantee that. There's definitely going to be tales of you for a while to come, I think.
Hopefully.
So do
good
you have a base with your van, or you just travel around New Zealand? Or?
No, my son lives up in Manly, up in Auckland, so I've been up there more often than anywhere else. But
because that's where your boy and your moko is.
From Parliament, I made some beautiful, amazing friends for life. You know, more than friends, family. You know, real family, because we've got connections, spiritual connections. So after Parliament, I went down to Mahanga Bay and spent some beautiful time with my Maori friends, my brothers and sisters. And you know, I always said to my friends at Parliament, the first day I got here, I met Mihi Wilson and Petaweri Kiwara and Willie Simpson and all those guys. And Uncle Willie asked me to look after Petaweri and Mihi, and I was just there looking after their interests for the whole of the time here, making sure that nobody brought them any badness, and I just got in between whoever came up to say bad words, and I was just there looking after my friends. And I always said to my friends that they had the correctness of their position here. They were correct morally, legally, ethically. I studied that at university years ago when I did my health studies, and so I understand morals and ethics and some legalities. But what my Maori friends taught me to do was to reconnect spiritually and have that spiritual connectedness and correctness.
It's very important to have that.
So I somehow lost that through my living, I guess. In the UK, things are different there. You know, my father's from Scotland, from the Isle of Mull. My mum's from Ireland, Northern Ireland, and so I've always had a rebellious nature. I've always been rebellious with everybody. If I don't respect people, then, and if they try to boss me around, I don't like bullies. I don't like people who try to boss other people around. I don't like people who walk over the backs of others to better themselves. I just think there's so many things which are wrong in that, and so I've just lived to the beat of my own drum. But somehow I've lost myself over the years because I'm a traveller and a wanderer. I never had roots. I was brought up in Newcastle, Northumberland, and so I've never felt I had home roots and ancestry. I've always felt like a drifter. I've always felt like
bit of a gypsy, eh?
Yeah, and I've got lots of gypsy blood in me as well.
I'm not surprised.
So now I've always been a wanderer. I've never had roots. So my beautiful brothers and sisters here have taught me about roots and ancestry, and I've reconnected with all that as much as I possibly can. And
nice.
But what I've connected to more is that the celestial, and realizing that everything just is magical. You know, that's my people. If we can't explain things, we call it magic. You know, things that we couldn't explain in the sky or in nature or in any way, we describe, well, it must be some kind of magic, good magic, hopefully. You know, and I like good magic. So I love being Santa Claus. That's all about magic, and that's all about keeping that beauty and that magic and that innocence and loveliness alive in people and humans. You know, that you have something to believe in, something that's wholesome and good.
For sure. And just in the spirit of Christmas, you know, we're coming into the Christmas season now, and for a lot of families around the world, around New Zealand, it can be quite a stressful time of year, and especially for those families who are really suffering or going through something, or, you know, they're still suffering PTSD or whatever they have. Do you have any advice for those people out there for this Christmas time, how they can get through it?
Absolutely. You pull things into the day, you pull things into the moments. The whole thing about Christmas, you see, and people get confused about Christmas, and they think Christmas is about presents and gifts. And present is the key word, because the most precious gift is being present, okay? It's being the present and being in the present, because that's what's precious. And precious as in has value. something with great value is precious, and the biggest and most valuable thing that we have. And I look after lots of people in life, and I, do the Santa Claus things, not just in nursery schools, but in elderly care homes. I go and sing with my ukulele, and people, it doesn't matter how old they are, some of them still have that magic twinkle, and they still believe, they have belief in their hearts, and they know what magic is, and they understand that. And what they understand more than anything else, especially the old, is that they can't remember what they got for Christmas, what was under the tree. What they remember when they're 90 and they're rotting away in their beds and they're waiting for their old friend death to come and take them to their ancestors. What they remember when they smile and cast their mind back to being children is who they were with. So it was the custom, the tradition, it was the being with, and what they remember more is the times they had on the beach and playing football, and they remember the people who aren't there anymore. They remember their grandfather and they remember their great-grandfather. And so that's what you have to remember this Christmas. The people who you're with, look them in the eye, tell them you love them, you'll be just fine.
You really hit me in the feels with that. Stop.
Yeah. Hit myself in the feels all the time.
Goodness.
Always crying
Cut it
these
out.
days.
Anyway,
happy cries.
the other thing I wanted to ask you, and you currently have 50 people at home watching you and hanging on to your every word, as well as everyone who's going to watch this later.
Yes.
Is there any chance you'll play us a song on that beautiful little ukulele you've got?
I will.
Is it a ukulele?
I got a little ukulele. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. So here's a little song that I wrote. You see,
That you wrote?
That I wrote. And so this is about who I am, I guess, the figure of Father Christmas. He's known by many names, and he goes way back in my people's times. In Ireland, we called him Dagda. In Ireland, he was known as Dagda.
Oh my goodness.
In Britain, he was Woden. In Scandinavia, he was Odin or Wotan or Utan. In South America, he's Papi Noel. In certain countries in Europe these days, he's Kris Kringle, he's Santa Claus, he's St. Nicholas. And so there's lots of names for this fella. But what this fella does is he embodies or he represents something that's good, something that's decent, something that's honourable, something that's about generosity of spirit, liberality of mind. He's somebody who you want to come and visit you and bless you with an early harvest or a kind winter where we come from, and so this figure would test your hospitality, and that's what it was about, teaching people to be hospitable and good to each other. I was brought up in a community where we were taught to be kind to strangers, because a stranger coming into your community would bring you news of the outside world. A stranger coming into your community was a pair of strong hands to lend, to cut down trees, to build homes for the elderly, to care for kids. A stranger was welcomed in the community, and so often this character disguised himself as an old man, a skald, a storyteller, who would wander from village to village, and you were tested on your ability to be hospitable to strangers. A bit like if you go to a marae here, you're often called on and you're welcomed onto the land, and you bring a little car, you bring a little gift, but you're treated as an honoured guest. And where I come from, you used to wander into these places, you were treated as an honoured guest. If the marae or the mead hall was good, if the long hall was good, you would get the best seat by the fire, you'd be given the best cut of meat, you'd be treated like a king. You'd be put next to the fire, and in exchange you would tell stories of the outside world, you'd entertain with songs, and you would give everybody a good evening. And this still goes on. If you go to Ireland, if you go to some of the smaller villages in Ireland, you still get that hospitality. And if you go to some of the islands in Scotland on the west coast of Scotland, you'll be treated with the same hospitality. And everybody runs to their cottages and they bring their instruments and they come to the pub and they go, look, let's celebrate the stranger in town, let's share stories. So this song is a little bit about that. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. It's a bit medieval as well. I like that.
We're listening.
It's a bit long as well.
We've got time.
It's a ballad, it's a storyteller.
Let's go.
In snow to feast in the old mead hall. I told tales, I sung rhyme, and I feasted all the time, and they called me the father of them all. Who am I? What's my name? No two answers are the same. I'm the man with the sack of toys. Far away on my sleigh, I'll be with you someday, with gifts for the girls and boys. Silver bells are ringing, ding dong, ding dong. Hear my elves are singing, ding dong, ding dong. Far away on my sleigh, I'll be with you someday, with gifts for the girls and boys. In the sands of the east, in the winds of the west, in the surf of the southern seas, I came from the north, from the cold but with warmth, to your hearth and your families. Who am I? What's my name? No two answers are the same. I'm the man with the sack of toys. Far away on my sleigh, I'll be with you someday, with gifts for the girls and boys. Silver bells are ringing, ding dong, ding dong. Hear my elves are singing, ding dong, ding dong. Far away on my sleigh, I'll be with you someday, with gifts for the girls and boys. If you're wicked and unkind, your misdeeds I will find, and my wrath you soon shall fear. If you're good and you care, I will bless you this year, with love and festive cheer. Who am I? What's my name? No two answers are the same. I'm the man with the sack of toys. Far away on my sleigh, I'll be with you someday, with gifts for the girls and boys. Silver bells are ringing, ding dong, ding dong. Hear my elves are singing, ding dong, ding dong. Far away on my sleigh, I'll be with you someday, with gifts for the girls and boys. Far away on my sleigh, I'll be with you someday, with gifts for the girls and boys. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. I love you all.
Thank you so much, Norm. What a beautiful song that was. And hey, just for the children at home, I have just been able to confirm Santa Claus was not mandated out of a job this year. He is fine. He's on track.
Absolutely. And if you want a video or anything like that, you can private message me. So I'm realsanta.co.nz. You can find me on my little website out there. I'm the Real Santa on Facebook. My TikTok account, if you want to laugh, realsanta.co.nz. And so if any of the whānau out there want a little, you know, magic special video, then just please send me a little PM, a little personal message. Let me know your little boy, little girl's name, their age, what they would like for Christmas, what they're good at, who their best friend is, little bits of personal information. And what I will do is I will do you a little video message, and then you can show it to them and say, look who's been in touch with mummy.
Oh my goodness.
That costs nothing.
What an amazing offer.
So but it's a little gift that we give each other.
That website again, what was your website?
realsanta.co.nz.
And your handle on TikTok is?
realsanta.co.nz.
Oh, of course.
Keep it
everywhere,
simple. Just keep it simple.
Santa. Yep.
Just keep it simple. And on Facebook,
guys, oh my
Norman
goodness.
McFadden or The Real Santa. And you can find me there. Just send me a little PM and I'll do something.
Guys, honestly, get on to this gentleman. He's amazing. I really, really appreciate that, and thank you for sharing your story, Norm.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm so glad I got to catch up with you today.
Yes, it's all good.
Can I just read you a few of the comments that's come through for you?
I'll keep my sunglasses on in case I cry.
So we've got lots of hand claps. Renee says, we love you, Norm, with hearty eyes. We've got lots of love hearts here. Nicholas says, I wouldn't mind having a chat sometimes myself. You seem like a really easy bloke to talk to. Gina says, love Santa, thank you for your beautiful heart and authenticity. Mel says, wow, what is an amazing man. Phil says, beautiful. Nicholas says, thank you for your words, my brother. And it goes on and on and on. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, whānau. A special shout out to Yvonne and Claire for subscribing to my Patreon. I appreciate your support. If you would like early access to behind the scenes videos, please head over to Patreon and hit that subscribe button. Kia ora.